There's a saying, we are our own worst enemies. But what does that really mean? Sometimes, the monsters we fear most aren't out there in the world. They're shadows we cast ourselves. This is a story about a peacock who learned that lesson the hard way. In a lush garden filled with flowers of every color, there lived a peacock named Azure. And Azure was, without question, the most magnificent bird anyone had ever seen. His feathers shimmered like sapphires in the sunlight, each one adorned with emerald eyes that seemed to hold the secrets of the sky. Every morning, Azure would strut to the garden's fountain, spread his magnificent tail, and admire his reflection for hours. Other birds would gather to watch, chirping compliments and gasping at his beauty. "You're stunning." Azure spread his magnificent tail and admire his reflection for hours. Azure would puff his chest with pride. He knew he was special. He knew he was beautiful, and nothing in the world could take that away from him. But Azure had a secret, a terrible, consuming secret that he told no one. He was terrified of the dark figure that followed him everywhere he went. It started one bright afternoon when Azure was showing off his feathers to a group of admirers. As he turned to display his tail from every angle, he noticed something strange on the ground, a dark, shapeless creature that mimicked his every move. When he stepped forward, it stepped forward. When he spread his wings, it spread its wings. When he ran, it chased him. Azure's heart pounded. What is this thing? Why is it following me? From that day on, the dark figure haunted him. Every time Azure stepped into the sunlight, there it was lurking, stalking, waiting. Its shape was twisted and distorted, sometimes stretching long and thin like a snake, other times short and wide like a predator crouching to pounce. The other birds noticed Azure's behavior changing. He stopped coming to the fountain in the afternoon. He avoided open spaces. He would only venture out when the sky was cloudy and gray, when the mysterious creature seemed to disappear. "Azure, why don't you dance for us anymore?" asked a young sparrow. I'm too busy," Azure stammered, his eyes darting around nervously. Important peacock things to attend to. He barely slept, always watching for the creature. He barely ate too, afraid to linger anywhere the sun touched. His beautiful feathers began to lose their luster. Dark circles formed under his eyes. One morning, Azure reached his limit. He woke before dawn, determined to escape the creature once and for all. He would fly far away to a place where the monster couldn't follow. As the sun rose, Azure burst from his hiding spot and ran through the garden, his heart racing, his breath coming in gasps. But no matter how fast he ran, the creature kept pace, sometimes racing ahead of him, taunting him with its presence. "Leave me alone," Azure cried out, tears streaming down his face. "Why won't you just leave me alone?" He ran until his legs gave out, collapsing in a clearing at the garden's edge. His magnificent tail dragged in the dirt. His wings trembled with exhaustion. "I can't do this anymore," he whispered. "I just can't." That's when he heard a slow, steady voice. "Young peacock, why are you running?" Azure looked up to see an ancient tortoise, her shell weathered and wise, slowly making her way toward him. "The monster," Azure gasped. "It's been chasing me for weeks. It never stops. It never leaves. I can't escape it." The tortoise looked at Azure, then looked at the ground where his shadow stretched long in the morning light. "I see," she said slowly, "and this monster does it only appear when the sun shines." Azure nodded frantically. "Yes, that's when it's strongest." "Does it copy your every movement?" "Yes, exactly." "And does it disappear when you hide in darkness?" "Yes, but then I'm trapped in the shadows forever." The old tortoise smiled, a knowing look in her ancient eyes. "Azure, I want you to do something for me. I want you to stop running. Just for a moment, stand still and look at the monster." "I can't," Azure protested. "If I stop, it will catch me." "Trust me," the tortoise said. "Just this once. Be brave enough to look. Azure's whole body shook, but something in the tortoise's voice made him obey. Slowly, painfully, he turned to face the creature that had haunted him for so long. And there, on the ground, he saw it clearly for the first time. His shadow. Just his shadow. No, Azure whispered. That can't be. This whole time? The tortoise nodded. You've been running from yourself, young Peacock. That monster is nothing more than proof that you exist, that you're real, that the light touches you. Everyone who walks in the sun casts a shadow. It's not a curse, it's simply part of being alive. Azure stared at his shadow, watching how it moved when he moved, how it danced when he turned. All this time, all this fear, all this exhaustion over something that was part of him all along. But why is it so dark? Azure asked. Why does it look so frightening? Because you made it frightening? The tortoise replied. Because you made it frightening? The tortoise replied. You gave it power by running from it. You turned a simple shadow into a monster because you refused to face it. The old tortoise slowly walked to the center of the clearing. Watch, she said. As the sun rises higher in the sky, shadows grow shorter. And at noon, when the sun is directly overhead, Azure watched in amazement as the tortoise's shadow shrank smaller and smaller until it nearly disappeared beneath her. Your shadow is smallest when you stand tall in the brightest light. The tortoise said, it only grows large when you run from the sun, when you let fear make you small. For the first time in weeks, Azure felt something other than fear. He felt foolish, yes, but also relieved, lighter, free. I've wasted so much time, Azure said quietly. No time is wasted when a lesson is learned. The tortoise replied, now you know, the things you run from often follow you. The fears you refuse to face grow larger in the darkness. But when you turn and look them in the eye, you often discover they were never as terrifying as you imagined. Azure stood up, shook out his feathers, and for the first time in weeks, he spread his magnificent tail in the full sunlight. His shadow spread behind him, but now he understood. It wasn't a monster. It was simply proof that he was standing in the light. The other birds began to gather, gasping at Azure's return. Azure, you're back. You look radiant. But this time, Azure didn't puff his chest with pride at their compliments. Instead, he looked at each of them with humility. Thank you, he said simply. But I've learned something important. Beauty means nothing if you're too afraid to live. And you can't truly live if you spend all your time running from parts of yourself. From that day forward, Azure still admired his beautiful feathers, but he no longer let vanity control him. More importantly, he no longer ran from his shadow. He learned to walk with it, understanding that light and darkness, beauty and shadow, fear and courage, they all exist together. The tortoise was right. The things we run from are often parts of ourselves. The monsters in our minds grow larger the more we avoid them. But when we finally turn and face our fears, when we stand in the full light and accept all that we are, the beautiful and the shadowed, that's when we discover true freedom. So the next time you feel something chasing you, the next time fear makes you want to run, remember Azure and his shadow. Ask yourself, am I running from a real threat, or am I running from myself? The answer might just set you free. The fears we avoid become the monsters we create. By refusing to face his shadow, Azure transformed something natural into something terrifying. Self-acceptance requires facing all parts of yourself. We can't selectively embrace only our beautiful parts, while running from everything else. Standing in the light means accepting your shadow. True courage isn't being fearless. It's acknowledging your fears and choosing to live fully anyway.